The idea that trying to hide your problems is going to make you any more trustworthy or successful is such a sad misunderstanding of the way human minds and relationships work. If you're in a leadership role and you're trying to impact other people, make money, live a fulfilling life, it's so important that you own the shit that you've struggled with and that you're currently struggling with, because when you speak then to the solution, people are going to trust that you've arrived at that through lived experience and that you're not just another bookworm who's read something online and is regurgitating the same old factoids. We have enough of that. The issue people have isn't access to knowledge, it's access to quality, distilled, refined, discerning knowledge through people who've had skin in the game and people who are human and people who've struggled. And we're going to see more and more advice. We're going to see, like, you can access anything you want on the internet, but you can't access people who've fucked up. And people who've fucked up and have set things right are golden. Some of the most successful, wonderful people I know have had substance abuse issues heavily earlier in their life. And if anything, what would make them even more successful would be if they spoke about that more and talked about it more. For me, I still routinely feel moments of anxiety, moments of apathy, much less so, I'll say, but I've been through depression, I've had suicidal ideation. There's a ton of things, addictive thought patterns, neuroses, communicating terribly in relationships, abusing my body, crossing my own boundaries, crossing other people's boundaries without even knowing, like all of this stuff, man. And it's not as if you haven't either. It's not as if anyone's not going to have these problems. It's part of the human condition. And I think when we try to oversolve the human condition rather than just share about it and talk about it and own the fact that we're in it, we end up moving further from what we want. We end up diminishing ourselves, diminishing each other, rather than actually stepping into what we could be and helping walk side by side to kind of lift all of the boats on that rising tide. So if you're a leader, if you're a teacher, if you're just someone who wants to make deeper connections in life, which is fundamental to growing a business or starting a creative project or whatever it is, then remember, the tools are important, but the story behind them and the worldview that they came from and the human experiences that resulted in the need for those tools is just as important, because that's what gives the context. And context is why people remember things. Context is what allows people to know how to use the things that you give them. So that's my 2 cents. I've started to operate this way in my personal relationships, in my mentoring, in my coaching. It's night and day. It's trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. I really hope this helps.